Alright, so first Descendant is finally out, and I was excited to play it. It was a new looter shooter. I love those games like Warframe, The Division 2, Destiny. So I was excited for this beta, and I gotta say that it's a mixed bag. It does things really well, and it does some things really bad. As you know, the first Descendant is a looter shooter game, third person as well, and it does a lot of things well, in my opinion, such as enemy variety. I think that's super awesome. There's a lot of enemy types, which is super cool to go against. They all have unique abilities. Some of them have, and then there's special grade ones that have shields, energy drain, and even life siphon. They do a lot of cool stuff. And I think the enemy variety is good, and the bosses in this game are awesome. Some of the missions, and even later down the road when you do the evacs and stuff, those can get pretty tense, because I got to 50 and my god, it gets hard for sure. And it's definitely a challenge. It does say randoms, it's kind of hard if you don't have a squad. It's gonna be tough sometimes. You might lose, so be prepared for that. Might get a 4 stack for those, because I think later down the road these are going to be a pain in the butt for sure. And honestly, the Descendants, there's so many to choose from. There's so many that are different. The abilities are awesome. Vanessa was one of my favorite. Cell was one of my favorite. I did what's his name? The Pyromancer, he was awesome as well. Bunny, obviously, for some reasons, you know why everyone likes her. Shit! Anyways, I think Bunny was a little actually broken. If you have 3 bunnies or 4 bunnies, most missions are pretty easy. So yeah, she might be a little overtuned. But overall, I think the Descendants have a great variety of depth and growth for this game, and I do generally like it a lot. I think the biggest problem with it is I feel like they don't have enough there's some characters are way better than others. The guns do feel really smooth in this game. When you're playing this game, they don't feel like there's no hit reg, it just feels like it works. And I generally like the weapon variety. You got hand cannons, submachine guns, pistols, assault rifles, heavy machine guns, rocket launchers, beam rifles, burst rifles. You got a variety of weapons, and every weapon has different mods types. So that's where the looter type of stuff comes in. You have attachments, you have mod systems. I love the mod system. This is basically right out of Warframe, and oh my god, the mod system is really good. I generally like it a lot. It's almost identical to Warframe. This game is very similar to Warframe in a lot of ways. I just think it's a little bit more slowed, and it feels some better than Warframe. But remember, guys, when Warframe launched, it launched horribly as well, so you never know. But it definitely it has a lot of inspiration from Warframe, which is not bad at all, because Warframe is a great game in its own right. And I'm trying to think of anything else, but overall, this game does do a lot of things super well. I do like the worlds, how they are designed. I like the bosses, the AI, the Descendants, all are really strong. But there's too many glaring issues with this game to say 6 months or whenever this is released. If it's like this, then there's going to be a lot of problems, I think. First off, the servers are awful. I don't know how many games in survival or defense when you're trying to just play it out and everything just stops moving and nothing moves and it freezes and then it picks back up. The servers are awful. The frame rate is so bad, guys. There's so many times that it's just not good, and it's lacking a lot of polish. The open world is pathetic. There's nothing in it. It's just you running around. You know that trailer you saw of that guy jumping in the trees and fighting that boss? That doesn't happen. There's nothing in the open world besides the select missions you run around and grab. The open world is piss poor. There's nothing. It's so dull and boring. I don't ever want to do it. And they make you go do it and stuff, which makes sense, but yeah, no. that open world is not for me. They need to add roaming enemy types. They need to add events. They need to add a lot more stuff to make these open worlds feel more alive, like Destiny or even Warframe and its open plains. Like if Destiny's time events would be perfect for this game. Yeah, there's a lot of issues. Third, I think the biggest problem is the matchmaking is awful, and you load into it and there's another person there. Or even, I don't know why missions don't have matchmaking either. So the only way to get people into your missions is if you are next to somebody at that current moment. Other people can join in if you're going throughout that mission, but why don't you just add matchmaking for everyone for those missions if they want that option? Like Warframe. Oh, you know, I want to do this mission, but I don't want to play with other people. I don't want to have someone mess up the codes or something, you know, trip the lasers and we lose it, you know, the sabotage mission. I think they need to add matchmaking for that, because it does get pretty boring when you're just doing it by yourself. Like, I'm not lying. Like, I played most of this by myself. I did have a few occasional people there, but I do think it lacks in a lot of features on that. I feel like if they added a more way for people to join, that would be awesome. Next is, it's kind of a grind. If you actually look at the grind of it, like, it's bad. So you have a 9% chance of getting one of the gold relics you need to get one of the ultimate guys, and inside that gold you have to go fight one of the special bosses, and inside that you have a chance of getting the right one. There's like 6 items in there. You know how hard it was for me to get 3 of those and then reopen them and then not get what I wanted? Like, it is such a grind. It is such a mess. Like, it's not a fun grind because there's not really anything you're grinding for at the current. Like Warframe, there's everything you can grind. There's always something to do. But with the end game of this, as of right now, is just to get ultimate pieces and then boom, that's it. There's not really anything I'm shooting for. Like, that's it. And there's only 2. Maybe there might be 3 on launch. But what am I grinding for here? There's no, like, end game stuff. Like, what's the end game? The bosses in the mission area? That's it. That's not end game for me anyways. Again, this game is in beta, so I'm giving it a benefit of doubt right there. It's not perfect. Nothing's perfect on launch, but there's a lot of issues with the frame rate is so bad, especially in the defense missions. It gets so bad. Lagging out. Bugs, disconnect, crashes. Man, there's just too much to list on the negatives over the positive. I do think the positives are good. They do a lot of things well, but they do a lot of things bad at the same time. And that's the biggest issue. We're not even going to talk about the microtransaction. That is another whole mess. Like, I get it's a company that does things its way, and it's bad. So the company for this game is not well known. Like, it's known, but not for good reasons. They usually flood their game, horrendous microtransactions, and just butcher the game and ruin it for everyone. And I'm worried they might do it for this, and it totally could happen with how this grind is set up and how the store is looking. It looks awful at the current moment. Now, do I think it's a terrible game? No, I think it does things well. It doesn't do everything well, but it does some things well. I do generally love the boss fights. I do like the different Descendants and how they feel in this game. They feel all different. I got 3 to 4, I think 4 to 40 right now. Bunny, Glenn, I do love Glenn, and Vanessa, and I forgot the Pyromancer's name, but those are the 4 I got to 40 right now, and I've done pretty much everything in the beta, besides build the ultimate, and right now I'm just trying to beat that toxic motherfucker right now, who's at 50, and that's a pain in the ass, because I have been playing that solo queue, so it's hard to find, and they need to add like a group feature or something in there to make it better. And what else is there to talk about? I'm trying to think on the top of my head. There's not really many things else to talk about on this. I do generally hope this game succeeds, because I did enjoy my time playing it, but there's not really anything else for me to play for, like I've done with the game, for the beta anyways. I just hope they fix the glaring issues that surround this game. There's too many glaring issues for me to be not worried about it. It's just scary to see, like, this game that could be a really good game. You can see the fundamentals. It is Warframe, but different at the same time, and it can be really good. And since we have such a huge drought with looter shooters, the only thing we really have is Warframe. We're not talking about Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is garbage now. And the Division, nobody plays that, so it's hard to find anything, and that's about it for looter shooters, man. So I'm looking for a new game in that genre, because I generally do love looter shooters because they're so chill and relaxed. Those are my opinions on it, the goods and the bads. I do hope they fix this on launch, and I hope they, like, God, they need to fix the server. But there's not much else I can really speak on. Generally, I think this game has its issues, and it's well known on what its issues are. They need to fix these issues. Once they fix those issues, I think this game will be a success. But as of right now, I don't think it is. As of right now, I think it's an alright game. Probably last a couple weeks, and then people are going to be done with it and move on back to their original looter shooters. That's what I think this game's going to end up like. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next video and many more.